What's up, guys? Even I Can Trade. We are back. I just want to give you a quick hit because I just submitted a put credit spread trade here. And I thought it'd be a good continuation of my recent kind of lessons that I'm trying to teach about trade positioning. So I kind of wanted to show you this as fresh as possible. So what we're looking at here is a 5-minute chart of the SPX, and SPX just kind of went on a slide here. I wouldn't say it's a huge slide, but it's a decent slide. It's about a 20-point slide from the highs here. And this is a good example of what I was talking about with the Elliott wave theory and how you wait for how you wait for pump fakes out of the market, at least one pump fake before you get in. And I wanted to show you what that looks like live without having the benefit of hindsight. So right here, we see the slide in effect, and the market kind of dove. This was the initial dive right here. And this right here is what should get your attention. So hopefully you have some kind of alert set up or something like that where, when the market kind of slides like this, you can see it coming. If you have pivot points, some kind of pivot point setup, that's a good way because it's probably going to be sliding through several pivot points. So you can set an alert on your pivot points. When your pivot points get across, you'll get an alert. That's what I have. So once you get the alert, you kind of see, and then what I'm waiting for is the B wave and the C wave to kick in before I even look at a trade. So you can see we got a B wave, a little tiny B wave right here, a little pump fake. The market sat there for a few minutes, then it decided to take another dive. And once that dive was finished, I evaluated everything. I took a look at, where the spreads are as far as pricing and everything like that. I also looked at my previous trades and what position I was able to get on those at different times in the market and everything like that. And looking at my previous put trades, my last two were 47.05 and 46.75 was the best I was able to get over the past few days. So when I looked at this, I saw I was able to get into the 47.05. 47.05, 46.75. Okay. So I wasn't able to get into the 46.60s at all. So at the bottom of this fall right here, I saw 46.60 had opened up as a potential trade, but I knew I wasn't able to get that. But that caught my interest because of where I was able to get before. I wasn't even able to look at the 46.60s. Now that trade had opened up at the time. So what I decided to do is I decided to wait until I started to see a little bit of a curl up. Now this is early, admittedly, because we haven't curled back up into above the 20-point line here as per one of my rules. So I knew that this was going to be a little bit early, but the reason why I felt like that is okay is to get this position right here. Position is everything, right? So what went into my mind was this position at 46.70 had, I went back to this day right here where we had a true horrible waterfall and said, if the market did the same thing, would I be somewhat okay? So looking at this particular trade right here and where the market's somewhere around the same point, a little bit higher actually than it was during this waterfall. Let me clean some of this off the screen to make it easier to see. So at the start of this drop right here, we're at a higher position than at the start of this particular drop. So if the market dropped the same way, which this is extremely, extremely rare for this to happen. So the likelihood of this happening twice in just a few days is almost nil, for one. For two, we don't have any catalysts. We don't have any news coming out right now. There's nothing on the calendar, either today or coming up, that's going to be severe or potentially severe. We don't have any of that stuff. We're at a higher position in the market. So I'm in a higher position in the market and I'm able to get a lower trade than I was able to get anytime during this time period. So I went ahead and took that position. So that's where I am now. So I'm right here. And during this time period, the lowest position I was able to get was this trade right here. And the market was much, started off much lower than it is right now. So I was able to get a 46.75. I was able to get the 46.90, but I was never able to get to the 46.60s, right? So even this trade right here is a 4,700. My current trade is 40 points below this, or 30 points below this right here. So I was able to get into a much better position than I had been while the market is still currently on an uptrend. Okay. So you see all of that. The market is still trading up, even though we're falling pretty hard, or have fallen pretty hard right now. So market's still overall on an uptrend, and I'm able to get a lower positioning on my trade. So I said, let me just go ahead and take that, even though it's a little bit early. I'm going to grab it while I can. That'll give me enough buffer that if this, fall continues, it's not going to continue forever. Buyers are going to start coming in at some point and starting seeing a deal and all that kind of stuff. So that was my gambit. We're going to see how that plays out. At the moment, it looks okay, but who knows what the market's going to do. But that's what I'm thinking on my trade. Hopefully the market bounces back and recovers so I can get a call spread off as well. But I just wanted to show that to you real quick. Hope you guys have a wonderful new year, and we'll see you next time.